Hi guys, Sean back with another Pirate Mod video. Today we'll be going over the teardown of the 350D case and get ready for some mods. You can see a little bit of a error on the front panel there, and what had happened was I removed the brushed aluminum. There you go, you can see there. I stuck it to this piece of plexi just so that don't mess it up, so if I want to reuse it I can. But I'm going to be going ahead and replacing the front cover because that brushed aluminum's a little bit of a fingerprint magnet, so I don't really like it too much. But I'll show you guys how I removed that. It was actually pretty easy. So I'll go ahead and start with the teardown. Just remove the panels pretty easily. And we can see here the internals of the case. I'm going to go ahead and remove that hard drive cage and the SSD mount. SSD mount's pretty easy to remove. It's got a little thumb pad there. Boom, comes right out. And this guy is going to have 6 screws. You got 2 on the back and 4 on the bottom, excuse me. And after you do that, it comes out pretty easy. Show you guys this, and I'm starting to get a better idea of the mods that I want to do after spending a little bit of time looking at the case and examining it and measuring things. I still want to try to put a thicker rad in the top, but I need to do a little bit more measuring with a motherboard in there just to see how much space I actually do have. So since we're down here, I'll take this out, and let's go ahead and get the front panel removed. And these guys come out pretty simply, like so. And let's see, this front face comes off with a couple screws, I believe. So we will. Yeah, a couple screws, but we got to take this plastic out first. So that just has 4 tabs that you pop out. And then there is 4 screws, or 2 screws rather, here. So we'll take those out. That's pretty simple. Although this one wants to give me a hard time. There we go. One good thing about this Corsair case so far that I've noticed is they're using the same screws on everything. The exact same screws that you use to secure the motherboard to the motherboard tray, and then the same screws throughout the chassis, which makes it pretty nice. You don't have to keep track of multiple sizes and types of screws, so I really like that. We'll take this front panel off. And let me go get a clip to cut that zip tie, and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Got my diagonal cutters to cut this off. And we'll go ahead and remove this front panel. And I think it's just a matter of, just popping it off. Pull out the cables gently so we don't mess anything up. And that's it. There's your front panel removed. This is actually held on by 2 screws, so you can remove your front I/O pretty easily, so that you can paint or do whatever else to this if you want. So we'll set that off to the side, and we're almost done with teardown. This drive bay is riveted in, so we'll have to get the drill out to remove that, but I think we're going to wait on that. We won't be doing that today. So we'll go and do this. I went ahead and I already popped off these little rubber feet. It's just stuck on. I just got my knife in there, pulled up the edge and pulled it off. And these just screwed in, a couple screws. And that's it. Again, same style of screws. So so you don't have to maintain a bunch of different screws. This is actually held on with a couple screws. This is the rail that your clicker mounts to. And that's it. That's pretty much the case disassembled. We'll go ahead and take the rubber grommets out because we won't be needing those right now. We'll also remove the fan grommets from the top of the case. We won't be needing these right now either. And that's it. That's your case disassembled. As you can see, there's your bare chassis. Nice recess here for fans. In the previous video, I never really measured the space behind the motherboard tray, so I guess I could do that real quick. Grab my ruler. And you know, it's not a huge amount of room, but it's not very minimal either. Looks like you got about 5/8, a little more than 5/8 worth of room. Millimeter wise, it looks like 17 mil in the basic area behind the motherboard. So, like I said, you know, you'll run into some problems if you get a lot of cables bunched up or a thick cable that doesn't bend very well. You might run into some issues, but other than that, I don't think it'll be too big of a problem. I also had somebody ask a question about the back fan mount area, and they were asking if a fan can get put back here if you wanted to run like an all-in-one cooler and do like a push-pull on an H60 or an H80 or something. And there's just not enough room to get the fan to mount flush. Plus it's kind of bowed here, so if you did want to run a second fan, you'd have to do something about this. You'd have to either bend it in or remove this hexagon mesh and then maybe trim some plastic, and you might be able to get it to fit. But as it is right now, without modification, you will never get a fan back there. So I think that's going to wrap it up for teardown. Pretty simple. The case now is ready for a little bit more teardown. I'm going to remove the cage, and I'll probably end up tearing the whole thing down to individual pieces for paint. But that's it for now. I missed a cable grommet here. So that's it for teardown. So I'll come back in a few and I'll show you all how I remove the front panel aluminum, the brushed aluminum off the front panel. So I'll be back. Hi guys, Sean back again with another Pirate Mod video, and this time we're going to continue with our look at the 350D teardown and give you a couple thoughts on some things, some corrections. Earlier I had said that the front bays could be removed by removing some rivets after further examination of this case. I don't think that that is possible because it seems like the side panels are one with the frame of the chassis itself, so you would have to do some cutting here and here to get this off. These two rivets would come out, and two rivets back here, and you would have to cut here to get this out. So this is actually part of the chassis, so just removing some rivets and taking it out isn't really possible. So we'll have to see what we want to do with that. It all depends on what size rad I end up fitting in here. So like I said earlier, a 280 rad would definitely come up into one of these drive bays. So if anything, I'm thinking maybe just removing these two rivets, and then cutting this bottom piece out, because a 140 mil thick rad should fit in here, I think. So I mean, that would just have to be a test fit to see how it goes. So we'll continue on, and I'll show you guys what I did to remove the aluminum. So let me get this over here. Tools that you will need if you wanted to do this is a razor blade or something like that. And then what I did is, I used to be an aircraft mechanic, and we use lock wire to lock bolts in place so that they don't come loose through vibration. And I have here some .020 stainless steel wire. And this is, I have one that's a little bit thinner than this, but it's not quite as strong. So I wanted to use this because it's stronger. And what I did is I just took a piece like this and clamped it to a couple pair of vice grip style pliers, and I'm going to use this to separate. And what I did is just grab your piece and then separate. Just, you only need the edge. You only need to loosen up the edge, and it's pretty easy. There seems like there's a little bit of tape right through here. Just cut through that like so. That will loosen the edge of this panel enough to get this piece of wire in there. And once you get the wire in there, it's pretty easy. Just use my fingernail to help guide this in, just like so. And then just pull down, like so. Whoops. Be careful not to damage it. And then, as you can see, that came off pretty easy. Done with the tools, and you can separate this. The adhesive is pretty much intact. You'd probably still want to replace that if you were going to try to re-adhere this on. So what I did with the other piece is I had this just a blank scrap piece of plexiglass, just clean off any dust from that. And so that this doesn't get damaged in any way, I'll just stick it on like that. And then now I can put this off to the side and it won't get damaged. And this piece is clear. Just clean the adhesive off that, and then it's ready to get something else attached. On Facebook I was talking about maybe getting some carbon fiber sheet to put on here. It's rather expensive. It would be a lot cheaper to do the Dynoc stuff, but I really don't like the Dynoc anyways. So I'll probably do that, or maybe get some perforated mesh paneling or something, and maybe cut the pieces to fit. Haven't really quite decided yet. I think I'm going to do some experimentation and see what looks the best. So we'll go ahead, and that's how to do that. And I think that's about all I need to say here. Hope you guys are enjoying these videos, and we'll start doing some more cutting and chopping and measuring here pretty soon. Thanks.